I think that's less a knock on Andy and more a credit to Shane, because, as you quite rightly said in that segment that side, one shot aside, he's been absolutely outstanding. But that by a million miles is the worst break he's hit tonight, scratching straight off into the corner pocket. And, well, as you say, first couple of chances fall Andy's way, the pressure can turn. And Shane will go from looking incredibly comfortable and confident to being right under it again.
Yeah, tricky layout though. The cue ball in hand helps here for Andy. If you can get the first shot right, then it's there's definitely a clearance on. Obviously the red on the right hand side is the problem. He could play the thin one with a view to play a cannon here, but I don't think he is. He's coming across for it, gets the cannon, but doesn't work out for him, gets it the double kiss. So that was the shot. If that shot goes well, you think, okay, this is going to be routine. It hasn't. Now, can he get enough side on this one to flick the red back into play? He's nowhere after two shots. That will sum up Andy's night, even though he's actually hit two good shots there. He's then absolutely nowhere. Still has slim hopes here. This is actually doable off one cushion. Gets the red, does not get the pot. Wasn't far away. Yellow. The red's obviously gone down to half block it. Now that you feel that Shane has, got a real good touch and feel out there tonight, you feel like he could play on that. Back himself to drop it in thin. Best angle if he wanted to play on it here. Well, I say not the best angle. The way he's looking here, and screw up on one cushion. He actually might be tracking down the perfect line. This might be by design. He's just happy not to get close to it in the end.
Choice there. Could really just have full control by waiting from distance, because it just widens your margin of error enormously. And you felt comfortable enough with the pot, so it's all very smooth sailing sort of clearance from Shane Thompson. 1-0 Leeds. That was all very confident, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? The difference on his first visit tonight wasn't quite there. He missed a ball by, as far as we've seen him miss a ball in the last 4.5 years or so. And then since that moment, he's played absolutely flawless tonight. He's a big time fiddler with his cue, Shane Thompson. He can be the tour handyman when it comes to tip maintenance and all the rest of it. If you're in a bind, good mates with Shane Thompson, he'll usually sort you out.
There's quite a few players who'll go to him. Right then, Andy, this is a chance. This is a good chance. There's no development work required here. It's just pick your pattern. So the last one, there was a problem ball, which is where the issue was.
less said the better about that shot from Andy Williams. Not been his night, but we have seen plenty of players come through a Champions League group that has been more accurately a mangler. Happened to very, very good players indeed. Andy Williams is one of those. He's not shown us his best tonight. It's fairly obvious, but better player than he's shown tonight is Andy. He'll be hoping to bounce pretty immediately back this weekend. And I feel like with that, even though it is early stages, I think if you're Shaun Chipperfield watching this match and you've seen that yellow, you're probably halfway to your car, aren't you?
Yeah, you especially, you watch Shane going off on the first break and you think, okay, come on then, maybe. And obviously you think, okay, well that was tricky, but I think for Andy on this occasion, one tricky ball in the middle, and I wouldn't say it's routine, but it was one you expect to get. Obviously it was a tricky ball in the middle.
Oh, now, speaking of routine yellows to the middle.
Yeah, that's the first error since the opening frame of the night, or opening frame where he had a chance of the night.
I think looking at that camera angle, I think you really can quite obviously see that a lot of attention was played on the cannon there. Didn't miss by much. Maybe just took half an eye off the pot.
Yeah, I don't think that was pressure for the situation. I think it's just one of those. He's just half taken his eye off the ball and missed a routine ball. It's up to Andy now to put the pressure onto him. Do you want to re-ask your question about where Shaun is right now? I suspect he probably is seeing that one.
I don't know if his driving habits reflect his ball habits, but if they do, I think he's already halfway down the M6.
Yeah.
But having said that, Shane's just played a terrible shot.
Yeah, maybe slightly awkward contact or just a poor shot, one or the other. But and he's going to get another visit in this table that perhaps he doesn't deserve, and it's a fairly easy safety shot he's been left here. And he's just had one of those nights, honestly. It's just, with every shot he's played, it's just felt worse. I bet he cannot wait to leave and try and reset before the weekend.
Yeah, and it's a tough place to be. All players have had matches where they've just played a bad match, and that by the end of it they are just waiting for it to end, just get it over and done with, reset, go again. The place Andy's in right now.
May have just overhit this one. I think the yellow might just be potable. Or underhit it. He was trying to get the red in front of the yellow at the same time, which may be what he was thinking, a kind of two-way shot, if you like. So tricky pot for Shane, but this is on. Balling, oh no, the 8 ball just reached. Does make a difference, just a slight one. Would have been a little bit easier with ball in hand. Tell you what, Stephen, you mentioned Chris Melling last week in a similar position to Shane. This has got a feel like that match in terms of, Chris didn't make a mistake going into the final match of the night, and then a couple of the errors he made were quite jarring, and they have been here for Shane. Obviously not that last one, but the two previous visits to the table, you were just expecting him to run them out without really thinking about it, and he's made two really bad errors.
Yeah, certainly by his standards this evening. I mean, even after the sort of first miss by Andy there, the shot that Shane's played where he potted the ball, but he's just landed absolutely nowhere on his next shot was just really surprising. he almost just needs to, in his own sort of way, reset. But it's something he did very well at the start of the night. He obviously had a horrible error in his very first visit to the table, and then look at the response since. He's played pretty flawlessly up until that last frame. Easy for you to say. That's a great break. But how's she split? It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
It's not. It's doable though. Just got to be delicate with one shot around the 8-ball. The reds are okay apart from the one above the 8-ball, but you've got the one on the inside of it that should allow him to,
Red ball's in play.
whichever way round he wants to do this, either flick the red into play or just gently move the 8-ball. It shouldn't be too bad. Or is he considering keeping it where it is? Because it does go right centre if you want to play on that way, but there isn't much room. I've got to get there off the one to bottom left. Yeah, you see, he's just looking at that gap now. If he was able to come off the bottom cushion and get the gap between the two yellows, that would be the perfect line for the red right centre. There you go, perfect angle to see it. No, in the end he played away from it. Oh, I wonder if that red goes bottom left. Now that red's out the way, past the yellows. I think it probably does actually.
It's just come up far enough to land behind it if it does indeed go bottom left.
No, it doesn't. Interesting. Well, it might have half a pocket, quarter of a pocket. It doesn't look like it to me.
Well, maybe he's just leaving his sort of work till last, and he's got the nice little nudge.
Yeah, if he plays into the red here and sort of screws off it, he's knocking it into good shape. Yeah, so you're going to almost catch the red half ball. It's going to roll to the left-hand side, and the cue ball will go up the middle of the table. No, didn't get into it. It's not just the red here, trying to get on the 8-ball. He's thinking double, but maybe he can cut this in. It's very, very thin, but any cue ball anywhere in the top half of the table, he's on the 8-ball. He's going double.
It's a lovely shot.
I'm really surprised that he didn't play to move that ball earlier in the visit. Like, even
Had
then,
the opportunity to.
Yeah, even then I still thought he was going to be able to do it without having an 8-ball like this. But this 8-ball for recovering it all.
It's a great ball. 7 minutes left. Shane Thompson leads 1 foot, and maybe a little more in the last 16 at this stage. I wonder if the odds makers are watching tonight, if Shane's odds have shrunk pretty drastically from where they were maybe before this evening to a lot shorter for this weekend's big event at the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. Loads of action coming up across 7 different series events.
He's certainly playing well enough, isn't he? It's good to see him back to some form and playing well. It is great to watch when he plays like this. Opportunity here to run another one out. Tricky. Yeah, the yellows all go. It's just connecting them, getting out of here. Do any damage on the yellow by the middle, and he hasn't. He can get underneath this, so if he can follow this yellow through, yellow will go left centre. Actually, the connections here are beautiful. He can drop these in without really doing much. Chose not to. Must have felt he couldn't roll through there.
Still not bad though. You can see the plan. Gives himself a hair of angle here. He can manipulate the pocket a lot from this position too. Just a swing around. And all of a sudden, he's in shape. Brilliant stuff from Shaun Thompson. Super performance tonight, and he is on the brink of a spot in the last 16.
Yeah, I know there's a little bit of fun and games going on frame 2 here, but generally speaking, he's just flawless, isn't he? You know, I feel like my...
Do you know what? It's more than flawless. It's not like he's just not made mistakes. He's just played to a really high level. It's not just been, you know, he's had simple run-outs and he's been solid and not made many mistakes. He's played brilliantly.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I mean, you know, I'm always analysing the table, where the problems are, how can you go wrong, you know, what the mistakes might be. But, you know, I can just, after 2 shots, I can just turn my mic off because it's almost certain he's going to make the clearance. He doesn't have to play a difficult shot, and it's what he was doing when he was winning titles.
Oh, and that sort of run is what you get when you're playing well as well. Even the bad breaks are getting something for him. That cue ball was straight in off, and it gets saved. Instantly acknowledged. Andy Williams there with the definition of 1,000-yard stare. He didn't take a moment of that, and who can blame him?
It's amazing, isn't it? This is week 13. Top seeds are having a real tough time of it, aren't they? I think, is it still just 2 top seeds out of 13 making it through? It's quite incredible. It's 2 or 3.
Yeah, now you're asking.
Yeah, but it's amazing, isn't it? The top seeds to, you know, the top 16 are really just falling. I know we're, you know, Shane's a former #1, but Shaun Chipperfield was the top seed here. And there's another one that's gone. It's just 𝗟𝗡𝗅𝗏𝗍𝒑 and Phil Harrison so far.
And Chris Day.
Oh, and Chris Day.
So 3.
Yeah, 3.
Total of 13. Which is, well, quite the ratio in a lot of ways. It must be said, on paper coming into tonight, Shaun Thompson qualifying, not a huge surprise, but at least with the way that he's been playing in the last year, you probably would have made sure Chipperfield a pretty handy favourite. But I tell you what, Shaun has been absolutely mustard this evening. Even almost showboating on this finish. Yeah, what a performance. The SAFECRACKER eases through against Andy Williams. There was very, very little jeopardy in the end for Shaun Thompson, who has gone 3-0 in the Champions League to book his spot in the last 16. That was a mighty performance from the SAFECRACKER. We'll hear from him in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We're back with the Ultimate Pool Champions League, and our Group 13 winner is in the house alongside of Shaun Thompson. Congratulations. Hell of a performance tonight, and dare I say it, and I feel like I can because I know you well, but welcome back. That was a return to form. That was some performance.
Yeah, no, I felt good out there tonight. Obviously, it's a little bit cold. My hands are a bit cold, but yeah, no, I played well, hit the ball well, and yeah, I feel like I'm getting my touch back a little bit.
We talked last year a lot about
you're chopping and changing, obviously, with China and everything else. But did you put a lot more time in on the English table ahead of tonight, trying to prepare for today and for the series? Because it looked like your touch was on point tonight.
Yeah, since I come back from, where did I go last? I think I went China last before Christmas. I haven't touched an American ball, American cue, anything. So, yeah, I've been playing a lot of English pool. Hopefully I get a new table soon, so I can start practice on this one.
Because you were talking back end of last year that you were still going to mix them, and you are, because I know you're off to America and China soon, but you're going to try and be a little bit more selective to make sure you're right for the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I won't be travelling right before an ultimate event, that's for sure, because going from an ultimate event to China or US is easy to adapt, but coming back, it's too tough, and I can't keep doing it. My ranking dropped probably 30 places last year because of it, so yeah, I don't want to do that again.
I mentioned that it's your game at its best, and I think we saw it pretty close to its best tonight. It's so based around little tiny touches and feel of the table, and that's quite hard to quantify. It's also, I'd imagine, pretty easy to lose when you're sort of out of rhythm and you're having to come back and just go straight on the toughest conditions possible.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when I'm playing American pool and Chinese 8 ball, it's heavy balls, different cue completely. Obviously, the tip size is a bit not too different from China, but yeah, it is tough to come back from these balls. So I don't really want to be doing that too often this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're gonna show you your highlight of the night, because the match against Shaun Chipperfield obviously was brilliant. You had it all to do because Shaun very kindly breaks dry for you here, but he did have 2 golden breaks in the match. But we were actually we prepped you for this before we came on air, and you said you couldn't remember a single second of this frame. So
yeah, no, I couldn't.
Enjoy this, because this is a pretty naughty layout. When you look at this now, you're probably thinking, this is a tough one to go for. Do I want to go for it? But brilliant finish.
When I'm looking at this, I'm thinking 6 red shootout, and I don't want one of them. So I was always going for the finish no matter what. I mean, that's a pretty poor shot, really, but I managed to land nice on this yellow to get it out. But yeah, I didn't fancy the draw, and hoping for a 6 red. So that's why I'm going for these, regardless.
But the time left in the clock was interesting. So obviously, because of the 2 golden breaks, it left, and obviously you're playing Shaun, who's quick anyway. It left so much time in the match that you actually could have gone a few different ways on this, but you decided just to take it on and back yourself, which is how you got back in the match.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm always going to go for it. Obviously, the plan here, I had to make sure. Also, I landed nice there, but I had to play a shot to pump this out. So
I thought this was really unlucky, though, because right at the start I thought you were going to play this shot, but you couldn't imagine this coming out too much worse, really. You think both were going to flick into play?
Yeah, well, I was hoping just to hit one of the yellows, let alone. Yeah. And obviously, I didn't get any. So
you get the underside of one, it's going to pop the other one into play as well, and you've got the one over the top pocket.
I mean, you get a great look at this. We don't necessarily see the best of angles because it's so close to the pocket. But this is a crazy cut. We didn't think this was remotely on.
Well, you're not playing this on any other table. I know that for a fact. Obviously, the middles are cut a bit different, so you can play this shot. But yeah, you won't be playing that on any other table.
And then playing this one off the red as well.
That landed quite nice, to be fair.
You probably earned that by this point.
That could have gone anywhere. So yeah, I got lucky to get on that one, but yeah, no, I was always going for them, and yeah, glad I got them.
Well, this in a decider in the match that you knew it was going to be. I mean, you knew coming into this, if you win it, night really is in your hands, and to pull that out in a decider after taking 2 golden breaks is a bit of early punishment in that game. Must be I mean, you can tell by your reaction there. I think you knew it was a bit of a sweet one.
I was surprised I even got the 3-all, to be fair. So I was just lucky that obviously I had Andy last, he said himself he's been struggling tonight. He's been breaking well but struggling. So Well,
what's it like when you're playing against somebody that's just had 2 golden breaks? In a strange way, it seemed to knock Shaun out of his rhythm. He actually had 3 in the end because he had 1 in his next match. But you played, because the chances you took out in that match were fabulous. So, obviously Shaun could have got the opportunity and decide it, but you were playing at the level to take it, whereas we don't know for Shaun because he wasn't getting opportunities. He was winning with golden breaks.
Yeah, he was cold, really. When he's 3-1 up and he's only had 1 visit to the table. So, obviously my side of it, I'm fuming, but yeah. I probably was due that dry break from Shaun in the last frame. So,
I mentioned a few minutes ago on commentary that we had to look through the series graphic up, and we're talking about who might be the contenders. And I mentioned that I reckon before tonight, some odd makers might have changed their odds after tonight's performance based on that. I mean, we can talk as much about it as we like, but now that you've played tonight and you've almost shown where you're at, I'm imagining confidence into this weekend is going to be pretty high.
Yeah, obviously I'm going home tomorrow morning, so I'll get back on the practice table 2 days, and then Wigan Thursday. So, yeah, hopefully obviously with the new arenas and all that, I'm hoping to get a bit of a buzz and do well.
We've seen 13 weeks of the Champions League, and obviously I'm not sure how much of you'd have seen, but nobody's played better than Shane. That's the best performance. And Phil was brilliant as well. Phil Harrison was fabulous, but that was the best anybody's played in the 13 weeks. So, yeah, absolutely should be one of the favourites for next week, for this weekend.
We often talk with players who haven't won tournaments, and there's plenty, obviously, in that category who are great players who've maybe not taken that step to win a big prize. You've obviously not had that. You've won quite a lot, but it's been a little bit of a sort of a drought in that sense over the last year and a half for reasons that we've explained. We often talk about the need to have that feeling ready to win a tournament again. I suspect that probably a lot last year, because of the way everything was, you probably maybe didn't feel as if you were in the position to win tournaments, but I'm thinking that's back now.
Yeah, I mean, I was turning up to events last year still tired, and I think one of the matches last year I actually fell asleep in the chair. So, and I give Gary Clark the rest of the match because I just couldn't stay awake. So, yeah, I won't be doing that this year. I'm focused on playing this year. So
it's difficult though, because you have to kind of go through what you've gone through. Obviously, you know what you've done with Ultimate Pool's opened a lot of doors, and it'd be crazy for you not to take it. But obviously now you're trying to find that balance, and it sounds obviously early. Very small sample size, but it sounds like you're doing a better job of that this year than you have done in previous.
Yeah, I'll be making sure I won't be doing any stupid events and coming straight back here. So as long as I've got a week or two at home before I come to one of these events, then I'll be absolutely fine.
Looking forward to this weekend, mate, massively, and yeah, just from my side, it's a pleasure to see you playing so well again. It's absolutely brilliant to watch as ever. Shane Thompson then through to the next round of the Ultimate Pool Champions League. The next time we shall see you is next Monday, but before that, we are very much looking forward to the Ultimate Pool Series. So many fabulous tournaments coming up in Wigan this weekend. We hope we will see you there, perhaps at the Robin Park Arena. Until then, until next Monday, same time, same place next week, where Christophe Lambert is in action. We'll see you then.
Oh my word. Oh my God. Your Champions League winner is Declan Brennan.
Monday Night Pool brought to you by ultimateleloans.co.uk.